What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video. This is going to be a bit different because it is a kind of spectating gameplay video. This is going to be on my Philo account, which is the account I'm trying to climb on this season. At the moment, we're like mid-Diamond 5. This game was about a Diamond 4, Diamond 3 Elo game, and I think there was one Diamond 5 in this game. But this was a little while ago. So basically, the deal with this channel at the moment is I've been trying to record actually, like some of my solo queue and stuff. But every time I try and do it, I feed big time. Actually, let me rearrange my cam real quick because it's probably not the best thing to have. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll put it in line with the mini map. There we go. Just so if anybody has OCD, you should be good with that, I think, hopefully. But yeah, so I've been trying to record, but it's not been going that well because whenever I record, I don't play very well. But when I actually am off recording, I play pretty well. So that's what we're going to be trying to do today, is going over one of these gameplays. This is going to be a maybe alternative sometimes I'm going to do on the channel. But that's the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is what we're gonna do with this channel, because honestly I'm a little bit lost. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not entirely sure. This sounds really I don't think you really need the sound that much, so we're gonna put that down a little bit and we're gonna go through this. So if you guys can help me out, like, just let me know what you think you'd rather see, because there are a couple of things actually. This early lane phase is very straightforward. We're getting bullied quite a lot because the brand's not very active in poking, which you'll see as we go through this thing. Maybe I should hide the scoreboard a little bit, actually. And we'll just leave it like this for now. I did actually start with the Doran's Blade, where I should have started a longsword and 3 potions. That was my mistake. It's just a habit to pick up Doran's Blade. But I would have started longsword. I'm running 18-0-12 and Deathfire. Anyway, so if you guys can let me know in the comments. Also on QT, I'm going to make a QT page for this, because as you know, it lets me look at the comments so much easier. It's so much better. Basically, with the coaching thing, there's 2 updates. So the first one is the coaching. I'm still gonna do it, obviously. But the problem at the moment, I'm getting my ass pounded in the lane, as you can see. Let me move my webcam a little bit more, actually, now that we're off this. The problem is replay.gg is shut down because Riot replays are introduced, but you can't share Riot replays. So I'm in a little bit of a bind, because you can share op.gg replays, but you're going to have to specifically go on before your game. As your game is loading, you'll go in the loading screen, go into op.gg and tell it to record your game, which is kind of hard to remember to do, I think. So that's option 1. Option 2 is download a software that will record your gameplays, but that people might not want to put software on the computer, which is fair enough. The other one would be streaming. So those are kind of 3 options. Everything is over on QT. If you just go on over and give me your opinion, because I really want to know what you guys, which way you want to do it, how much coaching you want to see. Also thinking of doing unranked to diamond again for season 7. I'll just make a new, I'll make a new one for a new account, fresh account, go from unranked to diamond, playing only AD carry. I know a lot of you guys want to see other roles and stuff. I'll play them up probably on other things on the channel, but I think it'd be interesting to go literally AD carry from silver, whatever. My brand is getting his ass pounded right now. Going from like silver, whatever, all the way to diamond just by playing AD, to show you exactly how you're actually going to do it. But anyway, let's get into this game properly. Those are stuff I want you guys to do. If you can go over to QT, I'd be much appreciated. Link will be down in the description, so you can go and help me out with that. And I'll probably, honestly, I'll just pick a random comment and give some RP away as a thank you for putting a comment on QT, because I know you have to click another site instead of YouTube comments, but it does make my life easier, so I'm prepared to just say thank you with some RP. So I'll pick a random one over on QT as a thank you. But yeah, so we're getting us pounded a little bit at the moment. This is a hard lane to play against anyway in Misfortune. Brand needs to be a bit more active. This is kind of like a really rough game, because I get the stun here with my W and I flash, but my auto doesn't go off in time, unfortunately. I tried to auto attack, it doesn't quite work. I'm gonna end up having to heal. Everybody has to flash here. This was like the worst failed gank and start to a game I think you can probably actually have. I use my flash to try and commit onto the Sona. The problem with this lane, like getting into it actually properly now, is they have a lot of poke. Both Misfortune and Sona have loads of poke. And we have a lot of poke, but they have heal to kind of counter it. And Brand isn't very active at the moment because he's getting pounded so hard. So when he starts poking, you'll see it gets a little bit easier. But at the moment, it's actually really, really difficult to play this lane while you're getting queued all the time and stuff. So I wanted to commit hard on that, blow all my summoners, because one, they're having to blow their summoners anyway, so it's not that big of a deal because you're trading summoners. The other side of it, though, I guess, is just if I can kill them there, we get a decent lead. I get a few more items, and hopefully that makes it a little bit easier for me in the lane phase, where we can just overcommit and hopefully kill them. That's the only way you're really going to beat them in an all-in fight. So I've actually got double longsword and refillable. Refillable is like my new best friend actually on an AD carry. I really like having refillable potions. See, Quinn is bot lane at the moment on the minimap, which is why we back off here. Refillables are really handy actually against heavy poke, especially. Basically, if you buy, if you're going to buy 3 pots in the entire game, getting a refillable is the same gold. And it's not as much healing, but as long as you can survive on just those 2 pots at a time, it's actually worthwhile in a game. So in my opinion, like, I'm trying to trade smarter in the lane phase. They heal for less, but I think I can get away with just having 2 pots and hitting a little bit less. So that's what I'm trying to do. You see as well, whenever MF runs towards the lane, I try and run to a side. That's kind of how you counter Misfortune a little bit, because obviously if you're staying directly behind, that's where you take the double up shot. So that's how you play against. So really you just stand off to the side if you can do. But it's quite hard for me to do that because Sona, as you can see, is trying to drive me every single time I do that. So this is one of those lanes where at the moment Brand isn't having a great game. He does turn it around a little bit, which is great, but like, well, I'm just trying to play around him basically. Like, he actually gets a really good combo off onto the Sona there, which puts her pretty low, which is good. So he's actually getting some good pressure here. This is kind of what Brand is supposed to do a bit more of, like actually use his mana and stuff. But I'm just trying to use my Q, my E to keep it off a tower. I don't really want to go under tower here because I will get poked so heavily. So that's why I drop an E down to slow the wave and also just like to declear it a little bit, de-push it. And then we're just going to try and survive for now. It's unfortunate. Brand's poke is messing up the minions a little bit. So minion wise, she's on 67, I'm on 54, so it's not the best start ever. This is ridiculous. So he hits the Q like over minions. Sona is based here, and we've kind of guessed that Sona is based because she was pretty low health, low mana after the earlier fight with Brand. So it's kind of like pretty obvious, I think, that she based, which is why, oh yeah, I didn't mean to steal that crap actually. Pretty obvious that she's based there because there's nothing really for her to do more in the lane. So that was just a really good Q from the Brand, which was great. So we picked up an early kill, which was good. This game's story, though, the reason I actually wanted to show you over others, sorry, is because, well, the last fight of the game, we end up like actually winning it with Jhin, which is really good. But it's one of those games where it was actually really hard because we just didn't really group. Like, we didn't really play as a team. This is a kind of trend I'm seeing a lot this season, is like, with all these assassins who are mid-game really powerful, everybody gets very cocky mid-game because they're like, oh, I'm really far ahead and stuff. But actually when it comes down to winning the game and closing it out, you have to group, right? I get my, yeah. This is the, if you take a double up like that, that is really going to hurt after the first couple of levels here. So that is a mistake. And I'm staying back here because I think Sona's probably in that bush, which she is in that bush, but she's a little bit further back, which is good. So I'm actually getting completely zoned from the wave here because I took a really bad trade. I'm trying to heal it back up, just CS with my W. Get a decent bounce there, which is good. And now we're going to go for an ultimate. We try and go for the Sona here, actually, but then we swap over onto the Misfortune, which is good. I started to go for the Sona because Brand was on the Misfortune, and Brand has a lot of damage. Misfortune had already been chunked by me anyway, so she didn't really need anything else. But that's Sona missing her ultimate. Misfortune not getting a chance to use hers, I don't think, because like you need some kind of setup, right? They went for the all-in play. That's what I was playing so far back because I thought I'm in real danger here. Like, the combo Sona and Misfortune is deadly. So I just have to not be in ult range, which I'm pretty sure I was always out of ult range there anyway. It wasn't a big deal. But we're going to go back, pick up a Ghost Raid, I believe, here. Get boots. Very standard buy. Me and Misfortune are actually pretty even because she's ahead in CS. So I have like a boots over her, which doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, so like that's kind of the way the game is played at the moment. Like, people don't group as often. This game with a Riven jungle, as you can imagine, Riven got pretty down because she was pretty far behind. I'm not sure if she's, yeah, 0 and 2 at the moment. And Quinn's kind of outpacing her in the jungle, even though Riven actually has double Quinn CS. So this is something really important in the new jungle, is you can farm like a monster and you're actually going to climb really hard because you have so much more gold than your opponent. So even though Riven actually is probably ahead in gold, I don't know how I check this on the new thingy. It used to be X. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we can actually see Riven is ahead in gold. Oh, sorry, only 100 gold behind Quinn, even though she's 0-2, and Quinn is 101. So this is where Riven was getting really down. She's really depressed and really like that kind of negative player. And it was a struggle to keep her in the game and actually playing because she really didn't want to. So Brian oversteps a bit here. But we're trying to pick a fight here because we actually are pretty strong. But the problem is Cassiopeia, and Quinn are pretty beastly at the moment. So it's not something we really want to go for. Actually, all of their team comps pretty good, right? Miss Fortuno, Sonarol, Cassiopeia, Quinn. They have really good actual team fight. So we have to play it quite carefully, which is why we don't necessarily want to. But a lot of this is actually trying to defend mid lane here because they really push it quite heavily. And GP is actually, he's been solo killed. Cassiopeia has a 40 CS lead at the moment. So even though, like actually all of our lanes are getting demolished really, apart from top lane where it's pretty even. That's kind of like, it's actually a pretty hard game for now. But I'm lingering around mid because I want to use my W and my ultimate. Every time my ultimate is up, I really want to use it to try and get some kind of pick. It's not always see what I actually see a lot of people do on Jhin especially is they only use their ultimate for damage, right? They're literally like, okay, they only want to go and use it when the brand tried to flank there, but he didn't hit anything, so I couldn't line up my W. They try and use his ultimate only when you're going to get a kill. Actually, honestly, your ultimate is not designed just for that. It's designed as a good pick tool as well, so it can slow people. It's a good start to a fight, which is what we'll see a little bit later. But this is actually my bad here. I get absolutely screwed. I was going to flash, but I didn't even get a chance. I saw Quinn on this ward here. I did see her move around here, but I was going to run up and I thought Quinn would honestly go down like this. But instead she's stuck in this bush. Maybe they had a ward on me. I don't actually know. And I mean, it's pretty dumb because Dragon was up, so there wasn't really a reason for me to do that. But we did get a tower here, which is good. I believe we might even turn this around actually because of GP ult, which I think turned around. Because the Riven actually, yeah, got a double kill. So Riven's actually, well, she got a single, I guess. But Riven and Yorick get into this game at that point, which is good. You can see we're actually 2k go ahead, even though we're down a kill. This is why getting towers and stuff is so important. And I think this game is just interesting from a lot of different standpoints because it makes you realize, okay, sure, our team might not be doing that well. It doesn't look like we're doing that well. But actually, you probably are doing a lot better than you think you are. So this is where like people getting negative and stuff really bugs me because it's like actually every game is winnable. People are just gonna throw like monkeys, you know. So this is where I actually run top because I see the Jax going on the Yorick and diving under tower. Really good cage actually. I missed my W, which is really poor, and then I'm gonna use my ultimate. Now I'm actually zoning this for the Riven more than anything. So you see I'm aiming up to the left of him a little bit, and I'm holding my ultimate now because well, I try and hit it obviously, but I am aiming my ultimate like just above and then holding it so that he dances around there, which gives Riven time to come back in. Unfortunately, we missed pretty much everything. That's actually a poor show from me, honestly. I think I should have like hit him with the W or with my ultimate and I would have killed him and Yorick didn't have to die. I mean, Yorick didn't have to die anyway, but yeah, and Quinn's just waiting for me. She flashes forward, I flash away. Both my summoners for Quinn's flash. That was good from Quinn though. Working out that obviously the logical thing for me is trying to defend my mid lane because it's actually getting screwed at the moment. Riven starts to actually go pretty beast in this game, which is good though. Like she's a good Riven player. She's just one of those Riven players who gives up quite a lot, I think. It's fair to say. But yeah, I'm pinging on the mid tower. Like let's push this. Cassiopeia's bot lane. We've just killed Miss Fortune, I believe, or Quinn. Either one of the two. This should be pretty free. You see when I reload as well, I'm always running away a little bit just to run back. This was really strange. She came in, rooting with my W. Death by touch, I think, picks this up. Yep, which is good. So this is also what Jin's very good at, right? Just getting the pick potential with his W and with his ultimate, and which is kind of what I'm trying to do now. I'm actually grouping pretty early into the game. We're only 19 minutes in. There's a lot of farm missing bot lane. I'm putting a priority on making sure that I'm with my team and actually doing something rather than getting that farm, which is good and bad. Like I found a lot more that I'm roaming as an AD, just like from looking at my games and my CS scores. My CS is normally pretty bad because I group my team to try and help them a lot mid game, which helps my team in kill wise, but I fall behind personally. So if my teammates tend to not be as good or whatever, I actually struggle a little bit because like I'm helping them, and if they don't carry, then I'm kind of gimping myself because I don't have yeah. Okay, here we go. So this is another one because I don't have the CS basically. I'm aiming for the Cassiopeia here. They actually die, so we get the Misfortune afterwards. But this is literally what I'm talking about, getting pick after pick. There's a W onto there. I really should work out what my hotkey is for me. Probably R. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So that pretty much all came, by the way, from just like the GP into Jhin ult. Now we're going to get another one because he oversteps a little bit. Running forward. There we go. Nice. This is going to be another tower. This is when we start to snowball the game a little bit. And this is literally Jin's mid game. Like pushing and the ultimate. Like I'm not saying the ultimate was everything there, honestly. But like I almost one-shot or killed the Cassiopeia by myself. Root to set it up. The extra damage onto Misfortune as well. So like there's a lot that Jhin does naturally as a champion, which is why he's so good right now. Like he does loads of damage anyway, but it's not just the damage side of things, right? This is why I think as an AD, if you're trying to play Jhin at the moment and you're struggling a little bit and you're like, you know, I can't carry and stuff, then group up earlier into the game and try and do this stuff that I'm focusing on. You see how I'm just out of range, right? Like he can't see me right now because I'm hiding around the corner so that hopefully GP could do something and then I'd be able to snipe in my W and set something up. Like I am a playmaking, almost like an Ashe or a Varus here. I'm not really trying to be the hard carry. Anyway, so 4-1-5, which is good. We have our Edge of Night and a Ghost Spade. I think we're going to go into a Dust Spade next as well. Triple lethality is pretty disgusting. Riven just based, by the way, even though we just pinged onto the Baron. So we're actually going to go top and get the farm instead. Yeah, triple lethality is pretty disgusting. And this is one of the things I think just like grouping is really good for, is people will overstep because they don't expect you to be solid, like all there together already. So when you group ahead of the enemy team, like they're still kind of farming side lanes and still catching up and stuff, but you're grouping first. And the team that groups first in general has a bit more of an advantage, I think it's fair to say. So far, at least from playing AD, I'm trying to group a bit more because I feel like you're able to help your team. Rather than sit there and farm until you're strong, you're able to help them while they're strong, if that makes sense. So, this is going to be another fight here in the jungle. Using my W onto Quinn, the only place you could really get away here. And see the snipes if they're actually any good. We did pick one up, which is good. Go for the Jax. Somehow we missed that one. And I think we missed this one as well. that wasn't very good. This Misfortune ult was really, really good though. Turned that fight around pretty well. That was actually a mistake. So there's two things I did there actually, which I'm going to end up paying for, I think. The first one, I try and flash away here. I don't know why, because I'm dead anyway. To be fair, I do a lot of damage to her actually, but that shield ends up being too much for me. So the first thing I did there was I actually cancelled my auto attack, my first one. So you should always auto into mobility because you have a timer between your two autos, right? So you need to auto use a timer to use an ability, and then you auto attack again. So I could have got an extra auto attack onto the Jax, but I screwed that up. Second thing is I missed my W, which would have been a good pick onto Jax because we could have just turned and killed him and it would have been fine. But because I messed that up, because I missed it, I wasn't able to... Oh, look at this guy. He's actually a really good Riven player. He just fell behind pretty hard early and was just really negative, which is unfortunate. Yeah, so those are the two big mistakes I made in that fight, and I think we would have killed the Jax pretty early on if we'd have done that. Now, also, this game, the reason I'm showing you it is because this looks really, really good. I'm 5-2, 24 minutes, we have an inhib, great, right? But actually, this is the issue we had, was we just didn't group and end the game. So, this game looks really good for now, and you're probably like, oh, it's going to be a stomp, why are you showing me this? You're just trying to show off? No, no, I'm not. Because this game turns really, really, really hard. So here's the first big mistake we made. We get Baron, and then we walk into a Sona, Cassiopeia, Misfortune ult. So even though I have like a decent like ultimate at the back here, it's just not enough. I actually believe I'm going to try and do this. So what I did there was walk onto the... Oh, it wasn't Sona, it was just cast into Misfortune. So what I actually did was I autoed the Gromp once there to get my 4th crit shot, and then I walked forward to do Q into 4th crit onto the Misfortune to finish her off. So like that was deliberate. This is something I do quite a lot actually in team fights, is I'll auto attack a minion or something like that, get my 4th crit shot, and then I'll go forward for the damage. So that was how we killed the Misfortune there. Just auto onto Gromp first, which was on purpose, and then getting the 4th crit shot. But this is where we started to throw a little bit. Like we had Baron, which was a good play. Then we just went into their wombo combo, which is what I said at the start. Like they have a really good team fight, right?
even though we are like 5,000 gold ahead, our team fight actually sucks pretty badly at this point. Like we have GP, Riven, who do basically the same job. They're kind of like a AD assassins. We have a Yorick, who's a good split pusher, but not the best in team fights. He's pretty tanky though. And this is, again, I missed my W here, which is just poor from me. And then we have a Jhin, who's like a kind of skirmisher pick champion more than anything else, right? Again, this is what I'm talking about, boys. So we called for the group. We wanted to group and use our last Baron, which was Yorick. And yeah. But Riven went top lane. This was kind of the story with Riven. She was a good Riven player, but she didn't want to group at all. GP was also running around like farming a lot of the time. So that really, we shouldn't have gone that far forward. It was a good try on the pick onto Jax, but after that was not really worth it. And I stuck around, got caught with no summoners. This is one of the things though about Jhin, is when you have no summons in a team fight, you're pretty... Oh man, that was unfortunate. Missed the flash stun there. When you're having no summoners on Jhin, it's really hard to survive. But I have my flashback up in a second now. So we've all gone from like 4-1 or whatever, and now it's 6-4, right? So this is a period of play where they're actually catching us up pretty badly. We were like 6,000-7,000 gold ahead, and now we're what is that? 4,000 gold ahead. So we're actually losing our gold lead at the moment. This is what you don't want to do when you're mid gaming like this. Like we had a really good start to the mid game phase, right? Where we grouped up before they did. Then we kind of continued that spiral, thinking we're really, really far ahead, but actually we're not. We just grouped before them and we're catching them out. And they grouped, they used a wombo combo a bit more. Now we're getting behind as well, and we're just getting caught a lot. Like Brand again got caught here. I'm just gonna pan off a little bit. I'm gonna try and use my mouse a bit more actually. I'm sorry, I'm rusty with the spectator client, so not the best. But yeah, they're going again onto the Yorick, who wants to go in randomly, and the Riven, who's gonna go in as well. We're gonna use the ultimate here on the Cassiopeia to try and snipe her as she comes back out, which we do actually manage to get. And the last one to Jax, which doesn't do any damage because he's full health. Remember, your ultimate does more damage based on their missing health, so you want to aim it at the lower people there. But yeah, so this is where we're actually starting to throw the game. See how like the gold lead actually doesn't mean everything? Like, because they have such a good team fighting comp, and because Az is so skirmishy and stuff, even though we're actually ahead in gold, I'd say in a team fight, that gold difference is pretty even. Like, actually in power-wise, in a team fight, we're probably as if the gold was even. So even though you're behind, champion picks and stuff like that they mean quite a lot, right? So we have to flash. I have to actually heal to start with that. I didn't flash I didn't flash immediately because I didn't think I really need to. He used all of his cooldowns, his E, his W, and his Q. So I had a little bit of time there, but as soon as I saw the misfortune note come out, that's when I decided to flash, because that's obviously I'm gonna have to flash away from that. So I'm being conservative with my flash in these fights a bit more, because I know how important it is for me to have them. If I don't have that, I'm actually in a lot of trouble. So we're going to go for triple lethality here, which is really, really strong. And we're running after them with their Infernal Dragon. I thought the Yorick was coming, but he actually wasn't. So that's my fault for just diving in. We're actually going to... Overall, it's a worth play. It was a bad play. But it is a worth play because Yorick's going to get the Infernal Dragon. But yeah, I ran in there to get the Quinn off the Dragon, because if she continues on the Dragon, she's going to get it for free. And I don't want them to get the Infernal Dragon, because Infernal on a Cassiopeia, Misfortune, even Sona to some degree actually, who has some Magic Pen already, Quinn, Jax, like Infernal Dragon is perfect for their team. And I really didn't want them to get that. So I decided that, like, I'm going to Rambo in and get Quinn off of it. I didn't expect to die that much, honestly. I really didn't. But... I still think it was probably worth. If Yorick had come immediately, it would have been fine. But it was a mistake going in so far. But if I didn't go in that far, they would have got the Infernal. And in my head, I really didn't want them to get that. But as you can see, this is just a game of getting picked, getting caught a lot. Like GP is 1-4, Yorick's now 4-5. The Brand is 5-5, I guess. But like we have pretty high deaths on all of our teammates, and like. It's one of those kind of clown fiesta-y games. But this is where, like, we've thrown the game a bit now, right? Like, they're only at 2,000 gold ahead. So, honestly, they're probably ahead in teamfight power. Again, he's bumming me in our jungle. I think I'm actually going to die here. He dies for it. I go for my red there. But, like, there's no reason for him to overstep. This is one of the things that I'm learning a lot at the moment is Diamond 5 is really hard to predict. Like, or low Diamond at least, because... people do random stuff like that, but there's no reason. Baron's about to spawn, right? Like, Baron is literally about to spawn. His whole team is based, and I've just seen them recall and run away. But he stays in the jungle, where our entire team is now going to be pushing for Baron vision
just to get like just to see if he gets a lucky catch. Like imagine if he found Yorick there, for example, or if he found like a Riven. Like he was lucky he found me because he managed to kill me, but even at the same time, I don't know. That was just a really random play. It's hard to predict that. Anyway, so Yorick's gonna obviously flash into the enemy jungle as you do, and he's gonna die here. This is where like the game is really starting to be thrown, you know, and this is where a lot of people I think would just lose the game. And I've lost a lot of games like this because they are really actually pretty far ahead. GP again, getting caught. So as you can see, at the very start of the game, this looked like an easy game, right? But because we got cocky and because we didn't finish it, it actually turned into a lot more difficult. And that's where like we're having a lot of issues right now. So I'm playing really safe at the moment. Like Quinn is deadly for me. If she even gets near me, I'm gonna die. So I'm playing pretty far back at the moment. I'm just trying to play with my team a bit more. But we need to be like grouped properly, you know, like we need to be all 5 in an actual team fight. I'll be good, you know. So Yorick's got caught again, but this time it doesn't actually matter that much because I'm able to catch the Cassiopeia. Now I missed my last shot, which was bad, but I did manage to basically zone her out of the entire fight there. It's one of those things where it's gonna seem a bit weird at the start. So Riven goes back in. Now we're gonna go, and I'm just gonna run here using my Ghost Spade to exit the fight. I have my Edge of Night as well in case, but I actually put down a trap here. Why did I point to the screen? Put down a trap here, which he ran over, slowed him down, and actually let me get out. So I zoned Cassiopeia out of the fight there by focusing her with my ultimate. I could have used my last shot on someone that I'd actually hit for the damage, but I don't know. I felt like maybe I could hit her anyway, and at the very least, like I'm gonna be able to hopefully keep her away. So my flash is up, which means Jax's flash is probably up as well, because remember he just flashed on me last time. So this time we're actually going to use it to get away straight away because he probably can burst me. There's nobody else around. He is tanking this though, and I'm going to Edge of Night now to go back in because with Edge of Night there's no way he's going to be able to do anything for me, which is, or to me, sorry, which is good. So even though we've died a lot this game, I think actually we've done well not to die more. Like it's been a really hard game. It's been one of those games where it's like 80 carry in 2K17, you know. It's been a hard game so far, I think. And again, my team went in too early while I was basing to get my mana back. Because I had literally 0 mana. Like I can ult, I can do anything here. So I had to base. They unfortunately went in and died. And like right now I'm running back because I'm thinking, okay, they're probably going to go bot lane or they're going to go push mid. They've got the advantage in numbers. Like I think they're going to push mid to start with because in my eyes, even though they don't have the minion wave, like they had a minion wave bot lane, right? But the mid lane tower is lower. So I would have thought they'd go for that. So I used my ultimate basically here as a zone tool to save the Riven. She's really, really low. They were diving her. I used my ult because that then made them walk backwards. This is another thing as well. Even with Misfortune ult, right? People do not do this enough. Like, it's not actually just there to save people, you know? Like, sorry, to kill people. It's also there for utility. It's there to save people. If you Misfortune ult, this is where the game turns though, so I'm going to pause it very quickly. But yeah, if you Misfortune ult, Jhin ult to save people, it's just as good in my opinion. So everybody is like just running around. They ping onto Baron. They actually type in chat, let's go for Baron. But I'm like, no, let's go for Elder Dragon because they were just on the bottom side of the map. They've just had to recall, but if they're greedy and they've stayed for the Elder Dragon, they're going to be taking a lot of damage here. CGP is still farming mid lane for some stupid reason. But actually, we'll get onto this. So this is the call that ends up doing pretty well. Quinn is there. But Yorick, I think, pins her out. And I'm looking now. I'm getting railed by this. I'm also looking at TP at the top of the screen because that's coming in now as well. So this is why I run so far back away. And now you see that I run to the mid lane. And I'm pinging. See how many spam pings I have on the retreat key there? Because I see the Jax coming in as well. So we actually managed to get that because just like thinking about it, like logically, there's 3 of them on the bottom side of the map, right? And they're all probably going to go for the objective closest to them. So, which is, in my opinion, a higher priority anyway. And they were pretty low. So either they're going to be there and we can stop them, or they're going to have base and they won't get it, but maybe we can sneak it, right? So between all of that, that's a pretty good start. But like again, you can see these guys just don't know what they're doing, right? Like Riven is running around the top side of the map now. Yorick finally is grouping kind of like we're all in the same position ish now. And this is where you see on the mini map, I'm pinging a spamming assistance over and over and over again because all I want to do here is use my ultimate in the way I've been talking about. So now I have this Elder thing, and look how many spam pings you can see on the map here. Because as soon as I see somebody, I see her, I open my ult. This is what I think Jin's ultimate should be late game. It is a pick tool. It's a catch people.
We're gonna time this last one to kill her as she comes out of the Zhonya's. It's just timing and practice. And then we're going to get this as well. Quinn comes in from me behind, and she just one-shot me. But we're actually going to win the rest of the fight here. And this is what Jhin is supposed to do, in my opinion. They do actually just run into Miss Fortuna when they die, but Yorick manages to pick that up anyway. This is, in my opinion, what the ultimate really is, how you're supposed to like win a game as Jhin. Sometimes you can use it for damage for sure. Like, it's not a bad thing for using it for damage, obviously, but actually that is the easy way of winning the game as Jhin. You open up at the very, very start of a team fight, you press R, you slow somebody, the rest of your team catches up onto them, they manage to like pick them, and it's like having an Ashe arrow or anything. If anybody steps too far forward, you're just able to punish them really, really hard late game. But a lot of people, and especially Jhin players, just don't think about that aspect of it. You know, they only think about saving it for when a team fight breaks out. But actually, I think it's a really good engage tool like that and to catch people out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little look at I don't think I even have my client open to show you the damage graph and stuff. Wonder if I can do that any other way. Hang on 1 second. Let me see if I can show you the damage. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. Honestly, I play like crap when yeah, I do play like crap when I am off recording, so it's hard for me to I don't know, record and talk and actually climb and play at the same time, which is why I think Unranked to Diamond might be coming back. But anyway, just as an idea of the damage graph that game, Yorick GP and me were all very similar. Those two are actually higher Yorick GP than me. And on the enemy team, Quinn had the highest damage in the game, followed by Misfortune, and then Cassiopeia and Jax were slightly after them. So damage-wise, those guys were really good. We actually just grouped up, and I think we actually rescued this game pretty well because, to be honest, I don't even think we should have won that game. Like, our comp was not that good late game, especially considering they had to just group us 5 and get a team fight. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Remember to go over onto QT. It really helps me out. Thank you. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.